So what the hell? That's all I have to say. The bank decided that they were going to close all my accounts. I was given no warning. I'm just leaving there and I'm super frustrated. I've heard about this as a survival person, teaching preparedness. I've heard about bank ends. I've heard about freezing accounts and things of that nature. But normally that happens to a bunch of people all at once. So a bunch of people are in the same predicament. What I've never heard of is what happened to me until now. And so now I'm really getting involved in this idea of really having your money in different places, which I already did, but this story is just absolutely crazy. And I'm about to tell you what's up. So what's up, guys? It's Hakeem, your Survive University Dean, back with another one. And so I'm here to just explain what just took place in my world. That it's hard for everyone who I've told this story to believe, and that's why I feel like it's important to share with you. And I had to share it with you right now. And this is going to be a 3-part thing, probably even 4 parts, because I'm probably going to come back with a way to really deal with this on your own, so that and prepare for something like this, because I've never heard of it. But now that I've looked it up, it seems to have happened to a lot of different people, and it seems to be a trend going on right now, which is crazy. So let me explain. So normally I do not use debt in my life. I try to stay away from it, with the exception of real estate. But anything else, I kind of, follow this idea of being debt free and making sure that I pay off all my debts and things of that nature. So that's how I normally operate. But recently I opened a second location of my martial arts and fitness business. I can't take all of this out of my current business, so I need to use other resources. I've had a card with Bank of America for many years, and I've never used it. I've just had it there for like the emergency outside of my emergency fund, because sometimes I own a commercial building. Sometimes really big things happen, like leaks in roofs or air conditioning units going out, and those are way past my emergency fund. So I have it there for backup. And I decided, okay, well, I'm going to use some of this to help me open this second location. So I used some of it, and I still had room to go. I have a pretty big credit card line, even though I've not used it. And so I had a lot to go. And then all of a sudden I get a letter in the mail, and that letter says that, because of your changes in your spending, we think that you are a risk, and we decided that based on a business decision, we're going to go ahead and cancel your card. So I thought that was super odd. I'm like, wait a minute, I've had this card for years and years and years and never used it. I got tons of money in the bank. I got, credit card, not credit cards. I don't have credit cards, any other cards. And I got all this, and this doesn't make any sense. I've never used this. I still got cash on it. So maybe there's a mistake. So, and I've also been with my bank for over 15 years, almost 20 years. So I'm like, well, I'm sure I could just call them and talk to them, and somebody there is going to probably see it my way, in the sense that, hey, I've been a loyal customer for many years. I've been a part of this Bank of America, and not had a problem really. So I thought it would be cut and dry. So I called them up, and I'm on the phone with the lady, and I'm telling her what's going on. And she's like, yes, sir, you're absolutely right. Let's get you to somebody, one of the managers who can take care of you, and they can let you know what they can do. So I thought, oh, okay, well, good. I got this situated. Everything's going well. So then this other person gets on the phone, this manager, and all of a sudden I'm talking to this person, and he is like, yeah, well, it's nothing we can do. We decided to close it based on a business decision. So I'm like, well, what business decision? I mean, what makes me a risk? What's going on? What's happening here? He's like, well, we can't really talk about that. It's just really a business decision. I'm like, why do you keep saying that? Tell me what's going on. I've been a customer of yours for so many years. I would think I deserve the right and the respect to be able to be told what's going on here. Sorry, Sarah, it's a business decision. And he's like, just like you could, or any client can close their bank account at any time, we could choose to close your bank account at any time as well. It's the contract you have with the bank. So I'm like, I've never heard of this. I was like, but obviously you guys don't want my business anymore, so I'm going to take my business elsewhere. I'm going to be a loyal customer to somebody else because you guys obviously don't want my business. He said, well, it's okay, sir, because your checks will be in the mail and by today. And I said, my checks? What are you talking about? So I'm like, what do you mean my checks will be in the mail? Like, I don't understand that. I was like, I don't have a check I shouldn't get any money from you guys closing my card. He says, oh no, not your cards. All your accounts are being closed, all of them. So I said, all my accounts are being closed? That doesn't make any sense. Like, what are you talking about? And he's like, all your accounts are being closed. So I'm like, why? It's a business decision. What is happening right now? I've never heard of this before. I didn't do anything wrong. Did something happen? Is there fraud on my account? Like, what's happened? Like, any explanation would be good. I'm sorry, sir. It's a business decision. The business decision. So I'm like, well, when is this happening? He said they're closing today. So I said, you telling me I have to end by the end of today to get my money, or else my accounts are going to be shut down and you guys are going to send me a check? And how long is that check going to take? Well, it's going to probably take somewhere between 7 to 20 days for you to get the check. Are you kidding me? So you mean my business accounts, my personal accounts, all that I have with Bank of America is going to get shut down? Then I'm not going to have access to any of my money for 7 to 20 business days? That's crazy. So I have till the end of the day. He said, no, just so that you are clear, sir, this can happen at any moment between now and the end of the day. So I'm not saying the end of the day. It can happen any moment between now and the end of the day. So I'm like, my mind is blown, but I no longer have time to argue with this guy. It's like 1:30 and banks close at 5 o'clock. So I'm like, I gotta go. I know it's gonna be people in the bank, so I gotta rush down there. So I jump in the car, I'm rushing to the bank. I get here, and then it's like, I go inside, and I'm like, hey, I need to sit down and talk to somebody about closing my account. And luckily, one of the guys who helps me is a son of a friend of mine. And I'm like, I need to do this now. He's like, okay, sir, well, just sit down. We got other people in front of you. So I sit there for another hour. So now I'm sitting there. It's like it went from 1:30, so now it's like 2:30. I'm like biting my fingers off because I'm like, this is crazy. Like, this could end badly for me, very badly for me. It can end very badly for my business, because that means that then I don't have access to my funds to be able to do payroll and things of that nature. This is about I don't even know what to say. I've never been in this. And yes, I do have an emergency fund and I have a bank account at another bank, but my personal emergency fund is not big enough to float my livelihood and my business. It only is big enough to float my livelihood, but I'm having to cover now my livelihood and my business's livelihood all at the same time. That means I'd have to be pulling out resources from all types of stuff, my crypto, all these different things. So I'm losing it here. I'm sitting in the bank, I'm waiting, and then finally they called my name, and I go back there and I tell them, what's going on. I want to close my accounts. I'm done. And so they're making me this cashier's check and for my accounts. While I'm there and I'm talking to them, I'm like, hey, have you guys had this happen with other people? And because this one guy is a friend of my friend. I mean, it's the son of my friend. And he's like, yeah, sir, you're pretty lucky that you got here and that you're closing these out, because it's been happening a lot, and I can't tell you how many times it's been happening. I can just say it's been happening. And normally people just come in and they wake up and they go to use their debit card or whatever, and it's closed, and then they come in to figure out what's going on, and we say, we sent you a check in the mail, we're no longer having your accounts here, and then they have to wait. He said normally on average it's actually like 20 business days before they get it. And I was floored. I'm sitting there like, are you kidding me? And he's like, no, it's just, this is the reality of what's going on with people right now with this bank. And so I was just like, wow. So now I walk out of there and I have my checks now, but now starts the next hard process of, now I have to get banked again. I have a bank account that's my personal, but now I don't want to put all this money in my personal bank account and then have to move it over to, or my emergency fund account. But then I also still have payroll that has to go down. So I need to get my payroll hooked up to a new account at some other bank. So I got to find a bank, but it's 4:30 now. So it's, or actually it's 4:45. So all banks will be closed. I can't start anything today. So I'm gonna have to wait till tomorrow. And so I will tell you as I go through this journey and I hit tomorrow, like how's this gonna play out? Because as of right now, I'm just happy to have my money, but I still have a lot of work to do, and I don't know how this is gonna play out. Here's what I like to say: if this has happened to you, because I'm sure it's happened. He said it was happening to a lot of different people. So, I'm sure I'm not the only person that this has happened to. If this has happened to you, put it in the comments. Let me know how this happened in your life. And then also let me know how you took care of it, if you were able to take care of it. What did your bank tell you? Did they tell you anything? Or is it like my situation? I'm just floored that you could just wake up one day and your accounts have been closed, and then you're like, why? And then they won't tell you anything, and then they're just like, we sent you a check in the mail and that won't be there for a couple days, so you're gonna have to just fend for yourself in the meantime. This is actually why they created crypto. XRP, Bitcoin, these type of things, this is why. So when all these folks out here are talking about, oh, it's this, it's that, one of the main reasons was because they wanted to give people another opportunity to bank with, or to be able to send money, save funds, move funds without having to go through a bank. Because right now I'm stuck. I'm stuck in the muck, right? I gotta wait till tomorrow. I gotta go to a new bank. I gotta open an account. I gotta deposit my checks. I gotta go online. I gotta change over, 50 different accounts that were on auto pay or something of that nature. So now I gotta do all of that, and I have like zero time to do it because bills are gonna start trying to pull from this thing automatically. And so if it was the worst of worst case scenarios, yes, I do have my Bitcoin. I have those things that I would have to sell or pull from. I'd have to pull from my emergency fund to not only take care of my lives, but take care of my employees' lives, take care of my mortgages, take care of all this stuff, man. It is out of this world. So again, if this has happened to you, leave it in the comments. If this has happened to you, tell me what these guys were telling you. Tell me how you dealt with this, because I am going to create a clean and concise program or understanding of how to deal with this, so that when other people have this happen and they go online, they look for answers, there's an answer there on how to be prepared for this or how to deal with this, because this whole situation is just absolutely ridiculous. And I've never thought that I'd have to deal with something like this in a modern day, being an upstanding citizen, being productive, being somebody doing good things in my society. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? That's all I have to say. So for now, my friends, this is Hakeem, your Survive University Dean. And look out for part 2, because tomorrow I got more work to do. And I'll tell you how this goes when I go to the bank to open an account.